Okay, so now we're going to look through the code that actually figures out if somebody won. Okay, so after this has been gone through and everybody's bought their tickets and entered in their information, and we have all those tickets stored in a big list. Okay, now we're going to come down to this part of the code that says once somebody actually chooses W, which means choose the winner. Okay, all this code here is just going through and generating some random numbers, or in this case, since I put this line of code in here, it's generating some specific numbers, and it's just taking those numbers and putting them into a list. Okay, and another array list right here called lottery nums that going to contain 4 numbers. So we've got this array list of integers called lottery nums, and we're going to add 4 numbers to those. Okay, 4 random numbers, or in this case, I'm taking those 4 numbers that I call test nums, and I'm adding them right here. So I'm taking each one of those test numbers that I set up specifically and adding them to the lottery numbers. So what this is going to do is just create this array list in the end that has 4 numbers in it. In this case, it's going to be 15, 4, 12, and 1. But if I get rid of that line of code and actually just use the random generator, okay, and use that line right here, it will put 4 random numbers into that list, okay, which is obviously the way we would really want this to run in the end. So lottery numbers is just going to be an array list. That right there is going to be an array list that has 4 numbers in it. So once we've got the 4 generated numbers, the random numbers, okay, that were represent the 4 balls, the lottery balls that were chosen. Now we need to do the important part here. We need to go through all of the tickets in our all tickets purchased list and see if anybody won. So we're going to have to go through every one of those ticket objects and compare their numbers that are on that ticket, the chosen numbers on that ticket, to the numbers, lottery nums I call up here, that actually contain the winning lottery numbers. So I want you to see if you can figure out how to fill in a few lines of code here. This might be a little tricky, but take your time to think about this. So what this is saying is, this is a big for loop that is saying we're going to go through all of the lottery tickets. So we're going to count from 0 up to the size of the number of, of all tickets purchased. So in this case, down here, it would have just been 2. But imagine again that there's 5,000 tickets purchased or 100,000 tickets purchased. We're just saying we're going to loop through all of those tickets. We're going to use I as our index value, starting at 0. Okay, and then for each of those tickets, so what this is doing is saying we're going to keep track of how many correct numbers there are in the ticket, and you can see down here at the end that it's going to, if the number of correct numbers is 4, in other words, if we go through and count and say, hey, they got all 4 numbers right, then we're going to print out the actual owner's name, okay, on the ticket. T in this case is the ticket object right there. Okay, the ticket's owner's name we're going to print out and say they're a winner. So again, this would imagine, again, 50,000 tickets. Okay, it's going to go through all 50,000 and only print out, it's going to look at each ticket and print out the owner of the ticket if they won, if they got all 4 correct. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about how to fill in this line and this and this. And so let's focus one by one at what each of these does. This is the line that gets the lottery ticket object that's in this list, all tickets purchased, at whatever the index number is, I. So we've got this big list of all tickets purchased, and we want to go in and get a particular ticket. So we want to actually get this object T out of that list. So stop there and pause the video and see if you can figure out what code would I write to actually go into this list and get a ticket at whatever I is at, okay, and assign that to this object T. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through that. I would say all tickets purchased dot, okay, that's our big array list. Get, that's our syntax for saying go in and get something out of that array list. And I want to get the ticket at index I. So whatever I is. First it's going to be 0, and then 1, and then 2, and so forth, right? So the first time through, we're going to get the first one stored in the list. So what that's going to do is it's going to go get the ticket out. It's going to be, in this case, it would get the ticket for Steve, if that one's the first one in the list. I'm just going to assign that to T. So this is a lottery ticket object that contains all this information. Okay? So if you got that, see if you can do this now. So this is now where we're saying, okay, we've got the lottery ticket T that we want to look at, and we want to compare the numbers in that lottery ticket to the numbers in lottery nums, the one that has the correct numbers. So in other words, are the numbers on the ticket matching the numbers in the actual array list? We sorted all the numbers up there. So see if you can figure out what to do here. So we're counting to 4. In other words, we're going to look at the 4 numbers on the ticket and see if they match. This is where we want to see if the two things match. So if the lottery ball number that's in lottery nums matches the chosen number, one of the numbers on the tickets, and to keep it simple, we said that they have to get it in the right order. So in other words, if I chose 1, 3, 10, and 19, the 4 lottery balls would have to be in that same order to get it correct. I know that's not the way it actually works in lottery, or at least I don't think so, but we're going to do that to keep it simple. So we're going to look at the lottery ball number and compare it to the chosen number in the list and see if they match. So see if you can figure out how to do that. Here, we've got a ticket T, and we want to get a particular number, the lottery ball number, and we want to compare it to the chosen number in this list. And I need to give you one more piece of information to do that. If you look over in lottery ticket, the class, you have this method called get chosen number at I. And that actually gets, if I is 0, it gets the first chosen number. If I is 1, it gets the second chosen number. If it's 2, they get the third, etc. So get chosen number is the method to actually get one of the numbers on the ticket. So jump back here and see if you can figure out what to do here to get each chosen number and each lottery ball number so we can compare them. All right, so I assume you paused the video, tried to think about this. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, if we want to get each lottery ball number, we're just getting the numbers from lottery nums. So we're going to say lottery nums, that's an array list, dot get, and we're using this counter with j as the counter variable, j. So that's going to get, again, if the winning lottery numbers are 5, 10, 15, and 20, that's going to get 5 the first time. So this is going to get a 5. It's going to get the very first lottery number at 0. And then this one is the one where we're getting the information from the ticket. We're getting each chosen number on that particular ticket we're looking at. So this would be T dot, and our method over there was get chosen number, and we pass in the number that we want to get. So get chosen number j. So when j is 0 here, this is saying we're getting the first or the 0th number in the lottery numbers list, the correct numbers, and then we're getting the 0th chosen number on that particular ticket. So this represents a chosen number on the ticket, this represents the correct number, and it compares those two to see if they are the match, and if they are, it says I'm going to increment the number of correct numbers. And then it just goes on to the next. It repeats that for all 4 numbers. Look at all 4 numbers in our lottery numbers list, looks at all 4 numbers on the ticket, this particular ticket, and it compares them. And again, each time it counts. It counts how many of them match. And if in the end, if the number of matching numbers between the two of those is 4, then that particular ticket is a winner, and then we can just use that ticket object right here and get the owner name on the ticket and print that out. So if this was the winner, it would say Steve is a winner. If this one's the winner, it would say Bob is a winner. But it will only do that if they had all 4 numbers matching.